let's go over a few of these tunes, okay?
Okay.
Starting with number one, you help me on the pronunciation.
Okay. Ewombe Ewomba.
Right.
And that's from the Ugandan Jews, which I was totally surprised in doing my research. I didn't even know that there were Jews in Uganda.
That's something.
And I found that a lot of them left during Idi Amin's rule, and either left and lived elsewhere or changed their religion. And so the tune, Hewombe Awomba, the translation is God creates and God destroys. And I first heard, I said, man, that's such a dark title for such an uplifting tune. But in reading and researching and finding out that it just meant that we're all going to leave here at some point and make our transition. And so instead of concentrating on that or getting hung up on little things, really trying to enjoy and be in the moment, because it might be our last, but rejoice in life and rejoice in what we're doing.
Right on. Full Time.
Full Time. That was written by a bassist, a good friend of ours, who also played on the record, Mamadou Ba.
Okay.
And Mamadou's from Senegal. And he said that was, the Full Time is his impression of New York City when he first arrived from Senegal, which is so amazing because I would imagine Senegal would be much busier and crazier and just more intense than New York. But, you know, wherever you live, that's what you're used to. But it's a journey of a tune as well. It's a fun tune for us to play.
Natiri.
Interi, that's one of my favorites. That's by the guitarist and vocalist Habib Koite, and he's from Mali. And when I first heard that tune, I just fell in love with his voice, and I kept playing it over and over and over again. And I said, oh, I have to play this tune, and I found out that it means friendship.
Oh, okay.
That's such a beautiful sentiment. And I usually like to open up my show with that because I feel like it's a great way for me to make a connection with the audience and for us to become friends, so to speak, for that time being. And I had a great honor to meet Habib maybe a couple of months after I had recorded the tune. And he knew I had recorded it, but he hadn't heard my version of it yet. But he was here in New York, and he invited me to come and sit in with him. And I played Interi with him, and it was just, oh my God, he has such a killing band. It was such a high for me. It was like meeting someone like a Miles Davis. You know?
Wow. At number 4, Artistia.
Artistia, right. You got it. That's Amadou and Miriam, and they've been around a long time. They're also from Mali. They're a blind couple that sings, and Artistia, it's their way of saying thank you to their fans for supporting them and supporting the music and supporting art. And it just says, you know, we're always having fun on stage, and it looks easy, but that's the shortest amount of time that we have for fun, and it takes a lot of hard work to get there, but once we're there, we're really thankful. So it's a thank you to the fans.
All right. At number 5, Aguinaldo.
Una Aguinaldo Parihina, yeah. That actually is a very interesting story. That tune was written by a great trombonist and composer here. His name is Papo Vesquez, and he's from Puerto Rico. And the tune, actually, I just fell in love when I heard the tune, so I wanted to put it on the record. And I thought, okay, well, this is mostly, you know, it's music from the continent, or music that's been influenced. And this has been influenced because in Puerto Rico there were also slaves from Africa, and when they would escape, they'd run up into the mountains, and the native people, the Puerto Ricans, would hide them. And so, of course, when you have different cultures living that closely together, you're gonna share things, you know.
Right.
So the rhythm of, you have the rhythmic aspect when you listen to Una Aguinaldo. Actually, it's a dance now, or a style of music, but it used to be a Christmas gift or a Christmas bonus. That was the original meaning. But so there's the rhythm of Africa, and then the guitar. Usually they play a guitar, a small guitar. Now the name of it escapes me, and that would be from the Indians of Puerto Rico, and then the melody comes from the actual Puerto Ricans, and you have the mixture of this, and then you have the Una Guinaldo.
Mm-hmm. Sixth got Bureau, the intro, and number 7 is the whole song. Did I pronounce that right?
Let's see. What is it? 7.
Bureau.
Bureau. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a tune, a very beautiful tune that was featured in the movie The Constant Gardener, and that's by Ayub Ogata. And it's a prayer for rain, actually, because they've had a drought, and it's been so long, and finally, when the rain is coming, they tell the children to go and gather the cattle because the rain is finally coming, but it's taken so long for this rain to come.
And number 8, Zarapiki?
Zarapiki, yeah, that's from Madagascar, actually. And they have an accordion tradition there where only the men are allowed to play the accordion, but the women play the drums. And they castrate the reeds on the accordion to get it's a very different sound, not like an accordion here. And what I found so interesting when I was researching the music for Reverse Thread is that, you hear this music from the continent, and sometimes you hear stuff that sounds like Zarapiki, sometimes sounds like Cajun music, or some of the tunes might sound Irish or sound like something else, and you think, wait a minute, is this from the continent? And it's just really, I had to remember it's a huge continent with so many cultures of people and so many different sounds and musics and religions and everything, and that, Africa has really influenced the rest of the planet, and when people mix or the cultures come together, you can't help but for the music to mix as well, and to take on qualities. And so Zarapiki was just a fun number for us to do, and it's interesting too, because people sometimes will say, oh, I didn't know there was accordion in African music, and it's like, well, it's a huge continent. There's a whole lot we still haven't discovered, there, and that was the beauty of this project for me. And of course, I feel like I only scratched the tip of the
a little of the surface.
Peak,